Fire and Brimstone, the Donald Trump Saga, by Spoopytanuki, Part 2. Trump slowly walked back to his seat.
"What have I done?"
he wailed. "What have I done?" What a beautiful kitchen, Trump thought to himself as he entered the Hell's Kitchen set. He was surrounded by beautiful silverware, pots and pans, and knives. Oh, how he loved knives! He almost loved them as much as he loved gold. Unfortunately, these knives were not made of gold, nor polished Egyptian cotton. But they were Gordon's knives, and that's all that matters. Other people began to file into the room, but he could not recognize anyone's faces. He was disappointed. There were no friends to share his crush upon Ramsay with. But there was one person. Her face was shrouded by various pots and pans, hanging from the kitchen centerpiece. Trump quietly walked over to see who it was. He became excited. He recognized this face. This was a person that he loved and respected much more than Fall Out Boy, much more than knives, much more than gold. It was Oprah. Oprah excitedly squealed and wrapped her hands around Trump. "Trump, baby! I didn't know you were coming!" She began to tell him about how Ramsay had invited her to the show. "What a story, Oprah!" Trump laughed. He was glad that he finally found a friend in this kitchen. Suddenly, screaming and cussing could be heard from behind the set. The other kitchen-goers began to huddle around each other.
He's coming! He's coming! He's coming! He's coming!
They all murmured to each other. Oprah wrapped herself around Trump's arm. He became perplexed at how she could perform such a physical feat. She did not look that bendy before. The cameras started to film. Ramsay entered the room, visibly upset. "All right, you fuckers, time to get the kitchen on!" he screeched. Metal started to play. Mist started flowing into the room through the fog machines. People began to claw at the walls in an attempt to escape. Gordon picked up a large pot and threw it at one of the guests, screaming, "You've been sautéed!" Trump feared that his time on Earth was over. He lied about being indestructible like Egyptian cotton. He wasn't. He had made that up. Gordon screeched like a wild animal as he tore through the kitchen. He picked up a package of eggs. The words "half dozen" were clearly scribbled across the top. "I wanted 2 dozen fuckers!" Ramsay boomed. He began launching single eggs at Oprah, who had moved from Trump's arm to the corner. "Scrambled, just like a filthy drug addict's mind!" He screeched over and over until all the eggs had been thrown. Oprah lay sprawled out on the floor. Gordon smashed the empty egg carton over her unconscious body. "You've been flipped! Over easy!" Gordon looked over at Trump, who had clearly not been beaten by kitchenware or covered in various dairy products. An evil, twisted grin spread across Ramsay's face. Trump backed away, exclaiming, "No, no, 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 you can't do this! I'm Donald Trump!" "Well, this is Hell's Kitchen, motherfucker," Gordon whispered towards Trump. Donald knew this was the end. He farted in defeat as Gordon hit him over the head with a meat mallet. Donald Trump lay unconscious on the floor. Donald awoke. He was surrounded by beautiful golden clouds and clear blue sky. He reached down and felt the spongy yellow material underneath him. He gasped. It was made from the finest Egyptian cotton that had been spun from the purest gold. "I'm in heaven," he thought. It has ended. He then noticed that he was alone. There were no toupee-haired family greeting him. There were no angels playing trumpets. There were no cherubs playing harps. He deserved a better welcome than this, he thought. He is Donald Trump. He deserves to be treated like royalty. Suddenly, a shadow appeared next to him. He looked up at the sky to see what could possibly be making it. He saw the silhouette of what seemed to be a man in the sun. Could it be God? No, it was Jesus on a skateboard. "Sup, bruh?" Jesus exclaimed as he floated down to the cloud where Donald was standing. I dead?" Trump asked. "Is this the afterlife? Is this what heaven really is?" "Nah, it's just a fiction of your imagination of what heaven would look like. I'm totally the real Jesus, though," Jesus explained as he opened a can of grape soda and leaned on a stop sign that suddenly appeared beside him. He picked up his skateboard with one hand and chugged the soda with the other. A beautiful backwards baseball cap sat upon his head. A picture of the Virgin Mary on a surfboard graced the bottom of his skateboard. His robes were made of the whitest Egyptian cotton that Donald had ever seen. His sandals were cured scientist skin. He was truly an elegant being. "So, why am I here?" Donald asked Jesus. "Because you're unconscious, duh," Jesus said. "Does this happen to everyone that blacks out?" Trump asked. "Only you," Jesus replied after taking another large gulp of the grape elixir. "Then how come I only saw Barbra Streisand when I fell unconscious all these years?" Trump asked once more. "I work in mysterious ways, man," Jesus replied. Trump trusted Jesus. Jesus knew almost everything. He knew even more than Raoul, but not as much as Donald. No one knows as much as Donald, not even cool Jesus. "Okay, dude, you're gonna wake up soon, and I'm gonna give you some important advice right here. Even more important than shredding the streets. Even more important than drinking purple pop. You have to eat kiwi fruit with the skins on. It's the only way you'll ever get through this pickle with Ramsey," Jesus explained. He tossed the empty can of soda into a trash can that appeared next to him, much like the stop sign. Jesus placed the beautifully handcrafted skateboard back on the ground and stood on it. He then floated into the sun. Blackness once again started to surround Trump. Sounds of screaming and an angered Ramsey filled his ears. He was waking up. Donald awoke, still lying on the ground. He quickly glanced around the room, making sure that Gordon did not see him awake. Mostly everyone was unconscious. There was one person awake, however, and they were being beaten with a block of cheese. "Am I too fucking good for you, dipshit?" Gordon bellowed at the scared person. They cried out in sheer terror and pain. No one should be beaten by a block of cheese, Trump thought. Not even scientists. Trump then noticed something on the center island of the room. It was a bowl of kiwis. Unskinned ones, in fact. Trump knew what he had to do. He had to eat Gordon's kiwis and solve his pickle. He was going to do it. He was going to make it happen. Trump began to crawl silently over the various unconscious kitchen-goers. He glanced over at Oprah one more time. "Goodbye, old friend," he silently mouthed to the unconscious TV star. She seemingly belched in response. He was nearing the center island. He could feel the fuzzy skin of Gordon's kiwis on his hands. He began to become hot and flustered once more. Time was ticking down. He needed to make it. He just had to. He reached the center island, but there were footsteps behind him. "So, trying to escape, are we?" cackled Ramsey. Donald Trump let out another fart in fear. Gordon picked up a wooden spoon and pointed it at Trump. "I'm going to fuck up your toupee like I fucked up your friend Raoul last night." Trump became enraged. No one speaks of Raoul like this. No one. She is more sacred than anything else to him. Not even cool Jesus could compare. He stood up. Trump screeched like a wild man and backflipped onto the center island behind him. He began grabbing the kiwis and cramming them into his throat. Holy fuck! He's eating them with the skins on! Ramsay squealed in disgust. It was a crime against all chefs. It was disgusting. It was like simultaneously peeing and pooping on the Pope's robes. Ramsay would know. He knew the Pope. The Pope even said it himself. Ramsay backed away from the millionaire and shielded his eyes in disgust. Trump felt a power taking over him. This power was familiar, yes. He knew it. It was the second part of his curse. Yes! Donald yelled. His toupee started to grow out into long, flowing golden locks. His hands shrunk in size and his fingers thinned. He felt younger. He felt beautiful. Trump now had the body of a beautiful woman. Ramsay fainted. Oprah rose from her unconscious state. The cameras all turned around to face Trump. Spotlights shined on him. He also had a raging erection. Trump walked over to the unconscious body of the enraged chef and lifted him up. He gave him a smooch on the lips. How dirty, Donald thought. He had never smooched anyone on the lips before. He threw Ramsay back down on the floor and proceeded to rip an unworldly fart on Ramsay's face. Upon closer examination, you could quietly hear, "This is being whispered in the fart. Cool Jesus knows what's up. Trump then climbed back onto the center island, cameras still facing him, spotlights still shining on his sexy hourglass figure. His face remained the same. Under the double D cups, he was still the old Donald Trump. "From now on," Donald exclaimed, "I will be running Hell's Kitchen. Yes, me, Donald Trump, millionaire and beautiful woman. Gordon Ramsay has performed crimes against humanity and crimes against my heart. He even insulted my dear friend, Raoul, who is even more holy than the Virgin Mary. And yes, cool Jesus himself." His boner nodded in agreement. The metal music stopped and triumphant music started playing. The room filled with light and cool Jesus appeared next to Trump, still on his skateboard. Raoul appeared. Dr. Indiana Jones appeared. Oprah stepped onto the island. They all hugged and cried. Donald woke up in his bed. His room was no longer golden. There were no Egyptian cotton mirrors. Raoul was now a normal cleaning lady from Minnesota. It had all been a dream. Or was it? All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a blast making it. Seriously, this was a good one. Yeah, feel free to hit the like button. Or, you can hit the dislike button if that's your thing. If you want to drop a comment down below, I always love to hear your feedback. And if you want to subscribe, that'd help me out a lot. And thanks for listening. I was 14 years old at the time. My jiggly friend Susan was on the couch. She had some Fritos wedged between her breasts. I was so turned on. Before I continue and pull you into my beautiful erotic story, let me introduce myself. My name is Antoine. I'm a ginger-haired African-American just trying to live my life and get through the 4th grade. My favorite book is The Great Gatsby, which I've read at least twice. So, back to the present. While I saw the reflection of the movie Con Air starring Nicolas Cage reflected in Susan's eyes, I knew that I could not continue my life without Susan. I grasped her bodacious cheeks in my wiry fingers and slowly dipped my tongue in her ear. She whispered, "I love you, my sweet girl." And then I put my thingy in her you-know-what, and we did it for the first time.